Prepare for revelations that will change your view of reality. What is beginning to unfold in your life is not a simple coincidence or random luck. It is the result of a powerful force that you have been subconsciously calling upon for a long time. At the end of this journey, something so significant, so tangible, and so filled with potential for prosperity and sustainability awaits you that you will rethink your entire life. However, this is not just a gift, but rather a key that will only be given to those who consciously go through this process and dare to unlock their inner power. Perhaps you've been feeling this premonition for some time now, the feeling that something incredible is about to happen, but it's not happening. You take confident steps, but you don't see the results you expect. You are working hard, doing your best, doing everything right, but the desired abundance is not coming. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that you've been using the wrong approach up to this point. You embody earth, structure, permanence and process, but abundance is not a direct response to physical effort. It responds to energy. And now you are finally starting to turn the right key, opening the door to new possibilities and opportunities. When Taurus decides to exercise his inalienable right to a life of dignity, a gate opens before him that will never close again. He was not born to a miserable existence, but to enjoy comfort, pleasure, and true stability. But before this is possible, an important step must be taken, to activate his inner field, not by logical deductions, but by vibration. And this is what he will have to do now, by a means so simple that his mind will perhaps doubt, is this really all? But his soul will rejoice, at last, glass, water, salt. Yes, just that. But let Taurus not be deceived by its apparent simplicity. This is not a trick, not a fluke, not an attempt to try his luck, but a genuine act of strength. For money, as we know, does not come to those who exhaust themselves with hard work, but to those who find inner harmony, who boldly assert their rights, who assert their power and exclaim, "I'm tired of putting off my worthy life for later." And Taurus is already saying these words as he prepares his glass, as he concentrates on his intention, as he heeds this message without a shadow of skepticism, as he makes a firm decision that this time it is for real. And he will be rewarded in full, so generously that he will not be able to keep it all for himself, because what he is now activating will turn him into a channel, into a receiver that not only receives but also multiplies, into a magnet that does not hold but freely circulates energy. It is about striving for well-being not out of greed, but for the sake of gaining tranquility and freedom of choice, to sustain oneself and others without undue stress. It is said that it is now, when one has stopped resisting, that the desired things will begin to come into one's life. The key to this is not a simple statement, but a whole sequence, a vibrational formula that opens new possibilities. The importance of immediate recording of this formula is emphasized, so that the universe can perceive it directly from a person, with his sincere intention. It is suggested that the sacred code 71269 associated with the angel of abundance be activated by reciting it with enthusiasm and confidence, like a person leaving his or her mark on the world. This code is not presented as a random set of numbers, but as a sequence vibrating at a specific frequency that responds to the individual's personal resolution. It is claimed that when a person recites this code, based on their physical presence and connection to the earth, a transformation of matter occurs. The individual is himself a manifestation of the earth and structure, and when this structure is aligned with a clear and strong intention, money comes not as a miracle, but as a result of realizing and maintaining one's truth. It is emphasized that effort alone is not enough, the will must be supported by vibration to create something lasting. And now man is laying the foundation of his new economic reality. It is noted that things are beginning to improve, the previously unattainable seems close, there are signs, messages, confirmations, new opportunities and ideas that inspire. Confidence grows not from naivety, but from wisdom, from the ability to recognize real opportunities. And while external circumstances are changing for the better, even more profound changes are taking place within. This self-limitation, this inner voice whispering that there is no need for more, this thought unconsciously repeated as if little is enough, and the inherited belief that asking for more is ungrateful, gradually lose their power. The reason is simple, one no longer supports their existence. The realization has come that more is deserved, not out of arrogance, but out of a sense of justice, consistency, and dignity. After all, how much has been given without asking for anything in return, and now life itself returns 100-fold. Do not be frightened if what comes seems excessive or causes strong emotions, even tears. These are long-awaited gifts that did not come not because of lack of merit, but because of an invisible barrier erected by the person himself. Now this barrier is broken by the power of the word and intention. At this moment the sacred code 71269, the symbol of the angel of abundance, is activated. This is not just a magic formula, but a powerful act of will, an energetic signature, a clear order from the universe affirming the readiness and support of this frequency. And the Toro universe responds to this call, generously bestowing all who are open to its gifts. This time a person will not only receive, but will also give from excess, sharing his wealth with the world. Fate will lavish him with benefits that will exceed all expectations and fill life with harmony. Abundance will be so great that there will be a natural desire to share it with others, bringing love and creative energy into the world. He will become an agent of positive change, a reliable support for others and a creator of his own reality. The main revelation is yet to come, that most cherished key promised at the beginning of the journey, the code that symbolizes his triumph, is about to be placed in the hands of Toro, who is fully prepared to receive it. He is no longer standing still, but confidently moving forward, having taken the most important step of all, realizing that he is worthy of more. This decision was a turning point, for since the day he activated the glass of water and salt, saying the words that cemented his intentions, his energy field has been transformed. Perhaps the external changes are not yet so obvious, but it doesn't matter, because the inner sensations speak for themselves. It is not anxiety, but the anticipation of expanding horizons, the feeling of approaching the invisible line that separates the past from the future, which he is building with his own hands. And the foundation of that future is something that no one can take away, his word, the very decree he has already written or is about to write. It is not just a promise, but a powerful energy trace. The sacred code 71269 is recited, summoning the angel of abundance. This code does not wait for him to believe in the miracle, it is already working inside him, because that is how energy works. When something is spoken from the heart, without a shadow of pretense, embarrassment or need for justification, it immediately leads to action. And now, Toro, the process is in full force. Now he begins to notice signs around him, whether they be dreams filled with images of water, doors and gold, sudden messages, unexpected conversations, unblocked financial flows or projects that seemed doomed to oblivion but suddenly burst forth with renewed vigor. This is not a mere coincidence, but an accurate reflection of the changes taking place in his own energy field. His inner frequency has changed, and it is evident in everything, in his facial expression, in the way he speaks, in the confidence with which he faces the world. There is no more room for doubts about whether he is worthy of it all. He has stopped trading his inner world for trying to please others because he now realizes that his inner world is itself a source of abundance. And now, drawing on that source, he will support everything that comes into his life, not as before, not with the fear of losing it, not under the oppression of striving for perfection. Now he will support it with the inner confidence, with the very yes he has said to himself, with the ordered energy field he has created. For he has not merely proclaimed it, he has put himself in order. And in ordering himself, Toro began to filter what was happening around him. And when filtering takes place, not everything can stay in place. And that's an important part of the process, too. People leave his life, businesses collapse, situations dissolve that no longer fit his new energy. There is no need to mourn this, no need to try to stop this process. It is worth thanking fate, because every passing opportunity is already on the horizon, a new one, ready to take its place. And the matter here is not in blind faith, but in tangible energy, in a clean channel, in a frequency that now vibrates without interference and distortion. At this frequency financial flows rush to a person not as empty promises, but as a natural consequence of his condition. Now he does not need money desperately, but supports its flow, and this changes the situation dramatically. This time he will not accept the boon with guilt, nor will he say it is too much. He will not belittle his good fortune or feel obligated to immediately return what he has received. He will receive with awareness, with gratitude, with clarity of intention, and from here he will also give, not out of a sense of obligation, but out of joy, out of his own choice. This also defines his essence, his fertile soil, where everything that passes through him sprouts and grows. And in the meantime, the very key promised at the beginning of the journey is already turning in the lock. Man is ready to receive it. And this is not just a beautiful phrase, but the energetic completion of a whole process and the opening of a completely new way of life. And he, Taurus, is already standing in front of that door. Now yes, Taurus, now he understands. This is not a matter of a random experiment or test, but of a comprehensive transformation of energy, of a new vibratory structure. It is a call that has been sent out and to which the universe is inevitably responding. The key point is that this process was not initiated out of a sense of desperation, but from a state of maturity and awareness, from an inner source of power that does not need loud statements to be heard. It is this factor, as the author emphasizes, that fundamentally changes the course of events. Man ceases to be a passive expectant of the signs of fate, turning into the sign itself, into a harbinger of change. He maintains the necessary frequency to get what he wants, without requiring rational explanations for what is happening, because he himself is a witness and participant of these changes. People previously on the periphery now appear in his life with new possibilities. Situations that seemed uncertain take on concrete shape. Paths that seemed impassable open up effortlessly. And this, as the author notes, is not a mere coincidence, but a natural response of the universe, a direct result of the activation of a certain energy code that vibrates powerfully in the human field. The author encourages readers who have not yet done so to immediately fix this code in the comments. I activate the sacred code 71269, the Angel of Abundance. It is important to note that this is not done from the position of a petitioner, but from the position of asserting one's power and right to abundance. This numerical code is already imprinted in the human energy field, signifying the end of the period of want and scarcity. There is no longer a need to ask for permission or wait for approval from the outside to move forward, as the individual is now a source of affirmation and confidence himself. It is this inner peace and confidence that will bring the most significant changes in one's life. True abundance is not about having more material possessions, but about not struggling internally with what one already has. Now that the representative of the sign of Taurus has found inner harmony and stability, his financial situation undergoes dramatic changes. He becomes the center of attraction for cash flows that no longer seek to slip away. Welfare ceases to be an ephemeral phenomenon, depending on external circumstances, because now the foundation of prosperity is laid in his soul. The representative of the sign of Taurus expects abundance, which will manifest itself in a variety of forms and will come with such ease that at first will make you doubt the reality of what is happening. However, he should boldly accept the gifts of fate, without fear or guilt for possessing more. He realizes that it is deserved, and he does not need to prove to anyone his right to prosperity. From this state of abundance, the representative of the sign of Taurus will generously share with others, not out of a sense of obligation, but out of a sincere desire. He will experience the joy of the fact that his generosity does not exhaust, but, on the contrary, increases his wealth. After all, Taurus has a unique ability to cherish what he has, to develop and multiply it. This time, when wealth comes to the representative of the sign of Taurus, it will stay with him forever, because he knows how to properly dispose of it. His inner orderliness and self-confidence will be the key to his financial stability. And as life gets better, everything that does not match his new vibrations will gradually disappear from his life. Ties that demanded more than they gave in return, endeavors that exhausted him to the limit and did not bring the desired results, spheres that have become cramped, but where they still tried in vain to squeeze in. All this is gradually fading into the past, let go without regrets, without unnecessary struggle and unnecessary explanations. One comes to realize that any completion is a precursor to something new, more significant, which needs the freed space. And this coming thing is not far off, it is approaching with every passing minute. But the most exciting thing is yet to come, the most important thing promised at the very beginning of the journey, the revelation, like a master key that opens the essence of everything that is happening. This is not a prize, but the natural outcome of tireless work on oneself, a process that Taurus is already successfully supporting. It is important to listen to it with the heart, for it is not just beautiful words, not a decorative element, but the essence itself, a truth long known to the soul, a revelation that can now be accepted and held. Money has never been the enemy of tranquility, will not disturb the mental balance and will not destroy the inner world. On the contrary, money flow, directed consciously, earned honestly and bringing joy, becomes a source of harmony, order and reliable support in life. Man felt the need for change, but not to renounce his essence, but to finally reveal the potential inherent in him from the beginning. A creative, supportive being, capable of materializing ideas, transforming the invisible into the tangible, giving life to new beginnings, arousing delight and expressing love through concrete actions. For a long time he created with few resources, using what little he had at his disposal, sometimes starting almost from scratch. But he did it with diligence and skill, attracting the attention of life itself. And now life is reciprocating, as he has activated his inner channel, cleared it, opened it, and proclaimed, "I activate sacred code 71,000.1269, Angel of Abundance." He did not say this as a petitioner, but as one who claimed his rights, as one who remembered his purpose, saying, "Yes, this is mine by right." This code imprinted itself in his energy field and began to take effect, bearing fruit. Payments, new projects, meetings with the right people, interesting proposals, fresh ideas and unexpected solutions awaited him ahead. Everything that seemed unattainable becomes closer, everything that was blocked begins to move, and what seemed to take years to accomplish comes with surprising ease. At this point, the person will feel a deep thrill in realizing that he didn't need to change, he just needed to activate his inner permission to succeed. And when that happens, he will not stop there, he will not let the fear of loss hold him back. He will share generously, channel his energy, expand his horizons, realizing that true possession is not the accumulation of wealth, but the ability to choose, the ability to help others without depleting himself, the ability to breathe fully without worrying about the cost. And from this position he will maintain the life he knows he deserves. A person should cultivate equanimity, self-restraint, a grateful attitude toward life, and unwavering self-confidence. If this process resonates in his soul, if he feels the changes on a physical level and realizes that positive shifts are already happening, he is recommended to subscribe to Taurus Horoscope Verde. And he should do it not because of someone else's request, but for his own sake, in order to maintain the vibration of positive energy and not to let this state fade away. The subscription will be a kind of reminder, an opportunity to return to these thoughts whenever the need arises, so that you never again muffle the voice of your true desires. And before completing this process, the person is encouraged to take a simple but effective action, touch their chest, close their eyes, or take a deep breath and say, "I believe in abundance coming to me because it's not just on its way, it's already here." And this time, abundance is said to have come to stay forever. Finally, the person is invited to reflect and share, what exactly made the greatest impression on him during this process? What part of his being feels the awakening? The author encourages open dialogue and is willing to read everyone's answers. Music, music.